Alright. Let's see. So, I have uh, messed around with my microphone and all the audio and everything, so hopefully it's working. I don't know how to tell. You guys let me know if you can hear me real quick. That way, if I have to, I can change some stuff real quick. So let me know real quick if you can hear what I'm saying. Okay, so looks like we have audio. Let me know what you're thinking about it. I see we have a new subscriber in the house, Hamilton Outdoors. Appreciate you checking in tonight and appreciate you subscribing. So real quick before we get into everything, I want to kind of look through here. I see Bearded Eagle, Restless Moon, Carl Smith. I see Eeyore, Ken Barrett, and Bodier. I got to meet Robert this past weekend at the Georgia Bushcraft Camp. That was cool to meet a subscriber, and I walked around and talked with him for a little while, so that was cool. Let's see, what do we got on here? Carl said there's a burn ban in Polk County. I actually saw someone else say that too, that there was a burn ban. I'm trying to think who it was, if I can figure out how to go back through here. Hike with Mike is in the house. What's that?
Restless Moon.
Restless Moon is the one that said that there was a burn ban. I remember now. So I don't know how the audio is going to be. I'll have to go over that and listen to it later and see how it worked. I'm hoping it worked out right.
They're saying that's good.
Okay. Because I'm trying to figure out how to get the audio better, and I am not good at that kind of stuff, and there's different things that I can like apps that I can use and things like that, and I just haven't got it figured out yet. So fingers crossed everything goes right. How's everybody doing tonight? If you don't mind, go ahead and let me know where you're at. I know we do that all the time, but I like to know where everybody's at. Let's see. Eeyore says pouring in Savannah. It rained this afternoon a little bit here, not a ton, a little bit of thunderstorm, but we need more rain. The rain, we're lacking rain, so we need it. But tonight we're going to get a little bit into the Georgia Bushcraft trip. Not a lot, because I do have that video that I'm working on, but we're going to talk about a few other things. I'm going to answer a few questions that have been dropped to me in videos and things like that. So if you guys have any questions, drop them in the comments down there, and I'll try to answer those. Let's see. Hamilton Outdoor said Eastern Kentucky. Very cool. Ken said it's pouring in Adel. Well, we need some. So Restless Moon's in Newport Richey. I remember that. Let's see. Carl's in Lakeland. Very cool. We actually have a pretty diverse subscriber base. We've got people in England. I have like somebody that messages me sometimes from like the Philippines or something like that, and then I have to try to translate it, which is funny. But it's really neat to see kind of how this has spread out some. Bearded Eagle is in North Carolina. What Sarah said, I don't know how much I can help.
He said that I needed to help you. I assume with the sound. I don't know about that.
Well, Sarah's very technical, and she knows how to do a lot of different things. But this whole YouTube thing, it's kind of tough on both of us. So if I need something cool made, Sarah can do it. This kind of stuff here is a little bit above both our heads, although she could figure it out a lot easier than I could. So Taco 05, Winter Haven, Hike Mike, east of Ocala. Po' Adventures, Southeast Kentucky. So that's another one that's funny. We have several subscribers from Kentucky. So one of these days I'm gonna have to make it to Kentucky and meet some of you guys. So
That Valdir Sack
huh.
got off of Blackie's talk to get on yours.
Well, I I don't recommend jumping over on mine from Blackie's because there is a whole lot more knowledge there. I can guarantee you. So that is one thing that I will touch on a little bit. First and foremost, I had a great time at the Georgia Bushcraft Spring Campout. And it's something I've been wanting to do for a long time. I want to do that. I want to do the fall campout. And,
Oh, Canada.
let's see. Oh, cool. Canada. Very cool. But I've been wanting to do it for a long time. And to be honest with you guys, you know, this channel, I mean, we do everything we can, but we're not making a ton of money on this channel. We really aren't, you know, and our patrons from our Patreon, they're who really made it possible for me to go on this trip. So I saved patron money to be able to go on this trip because it's not super expensive. So when you think about it, it's $100 to camp out for the weekend at the spring camp out, which $50 a night, right? There's all kind of different classes you can take. I mean, it's awesome. But then you add in the price of fuel, and that's another, you know, I drive that Jeep. It's not great on gas. So it's, you know, it's another $100 or so for fuel. So it's not a cheap thing. It's not easy for me to attain. Plus, it's a 6-hour drive to get there. And so it wasn't the easiest thing for me to be able to do. But because of the patrons, them helping out, it really made it a lot more possible for me to do it. Plus, my awesome wife being understanding enough that I have these silly escapades I want to run around on, and she's you know, I don't know what the word is, but anyway, she cuts me some slack when I've got these silly ideas that I want to go run around and do. But she's very, very understanding is what I was trying to get at. Let's see, Campfires in Life said good evening. Good evening. So I did get to meet some of the people that I've been watching on YouTube for a while. And it was cool because on here, Bodie or Sackett, Robert, he came and met me there, which to me blows my mind that, you know, he came and met me, which I'm just a regular guy. But it was cool, and I got to meet some people that I've been wanting to meet, people that I have got to, you know, have been watching anyway. And so that was really cool. And then the downside, I had such a great time, and I was so stoked to come back and make the video, and then the files were corrupted. And it was so disappointing. It was so disheartening because I thought for sure that's it. I could see them. At one point I could see them on my camera, but I couldn't get them transferred over. And then they were just gone. I couldn't even see them on the camera anymore. And I was crushed. I was panicking. I couldn't figure out what in the world I was going to do. And I messaged Greg, my father-in-law, who does, you know, fixes the computer every time I mess it up, and asked him if he could help me. He's like, yeah, drop it by. And I happened to mention it to my buddy Brian, who is a unbelievable photographer. And Brian's story, I know if you guys follow me on Instagram, you've seen the video, but I mentioned it to Brian, and Brian literally just messaged or video chatted me on Facebook, and he was like, open up your computer screen, share it with me. And so I shared it with him, and he's like, calm down, it's not all over yet. And so he worked his magic. And so what I learned from that was, if you have content on a memory card that you don't want anybody else to find, destroy it. Burn it, grind it up, whatever, because Brian went, boop, 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 here's your files. And I was like, holy crap, they were gone. In my opinion, they were gone. So what he told me was, when a file's corrupted, it basically corrupts like the file or the computer's ability to find the files. The files are still there. And through the magic of whatever he did, magic fingers, he actually was able to find the files. Basically, from what I gathered, he renamed the files from a good file that I had. I know it's all technical and it's crazy, but it was just mind-boggling to see him in 15 minutes find it, figure it out, and literally he went through another program. I'm trying to think what it was called now. I think it was called Recover and Wondershare. And between those two programs, he was able to actually recover about 50% of the footage, which is awesome. That's 50% more than I was going to be able to use, right? So I was ecstatic with that. The only problem is they are not full clips. It's like pieces of conversations, and it's pieces of sentences. So it's going to take a lot of creative editing to try to pull a video out of that. So it's going to definitely be tough, but I think I can make it work. What are you giggling at over there?
Because you lost like 7 people.
Just talking.
The technical stuff.
I talked about the technical stuff and it said, nobody wants to see that. But anyway, so let me move on from that. But anyway, I was able to get those files back, and I'll be able to do something with them. So that is exciting for me anyway. Because I was able to recover some of the content that was really important to me. So that meant a lot. And I really appreciate Brian for stepping up, literally taking just time out of his day to help me out. Just blows my mind. Great guy. Now, some of the things that were at the Georgia Bushcraft show were really, really awesome. They had all kind of different things that you could do, classes you could take. The gear, they had the trade blankets out there, and it was really, really neat stuff that they had out on the trade blankets. If you needed cast iron or copper, as far as like bowls, cups, there was tons of it there. So just keep that in mind. If you're ever looking for stuff like that and that Georgia Bushcraft thing comes up, you should go. It definitely is worth the money to go. But one of the things that I wanted while I was there, I had an idea that, for my day pack, I've got my big first aid kit, but I really didn't want a big first aid kit. I wanted something small for my day pack. And I've been looking at the Tough Possum pouches for a long time. And so I picked one up. So I got this tiny little Tough Possum pouch. The thing is really nice. It's got the Velcro on the back of it, so I could Velcro it if I wanted to. But it's just big enough to carry the basic essentials, throw it in my day pack, and it's not going to take up a ton of room like my bigger first aid kit. And that was awesome. And then, on the raffle, I won another Tough Possum pouch, so that was pretty cool. Let's see.
Taco05 asked if you plan to do a meet and greet or a meetup or camp out.
Okay, so the subscriber camp out, we actually were just talking about that earlier. I'm thinking that we're going to do a subscriber camp out the end of September. The end of September, early October. It'll start fingers crossed, it'll start cooling off. It's going to be somewhere here in probably North Florida, because with me having to try to make sure everything gets done logistically, it's going to have to be pretty close to me. Plus, I'm going to have to try to find a good place for us to go. And what I'm looking for is, I think I might want to try to do some sort of actual campsite area, maybe somewhere that has a group campsite, because I want to make sure that we have room for everyone. And I don't want to set it up in some, kind of backcountry area. I want somewhere that's going to have restrooms for those who need restrooms, and, facilities like that. So, I don't know if we'll find somewhere that's got a shower. You guys may have to deal with that. But, we are definitely, looking towards the end of September. And, I don't really have the details on it yet, but we are working on that. So that would be something that I'm definitely interested in doing. I definitely want to do that. So let's see, what are we looking at here? Trying to catch up with the chat real quick. Eeyore said overdub the audio commentary. I will have to do some of that on the video. There will definitely be some overdubbing on there. Aaron is in the house. So Aaron is a brand new dad again. Well, not a brand new dad. He's a dad again. So congratulations to Aaron on a beautiful baby girl. Everybody tell Aaron congratulations. So did I miss something? Campfires and Life said 9:27. Oh, is that what you're saying? 9:27 is when we should do the camp out? That'll be around the right time.
Bearded Eagle said somewhere without gators.
We'd have to go somewhere outside of Florida, because around here, if you leave the gate open too long, there might be a gator in your swimming pool. So I don't know how we'll do something without gators. But we did a camp out not too long ago, earlier last year. I think it was last year. It might have been late the year before. I can't even remember now.
It was the year before, because it was your and Dad's annual trip.
Okay, so it was late the year before, but we did one out in Keystone Heights at Mike Ross Goldhead Branch State Park, and that's a nice place out there. You can get the big group camp area out there, and they have a lot of hiking out there. You can fish in some of the ponds. There's a lot of things to do, or there's some things to do out there. I would like to find somewhere along the river with a spring if possible, but we'll just have to see how that plays out. So,
I guess the 27th is Campfires and Life.
that's your birthday. We could do a happy birthday Mike camp out. That would be cool.
What are you sipping on?
So tonight, I've just got my huge. This is this is not Dr. Pepper. I didn't have any Dr. Pepper. This is or yeah, it is Dr. Pepper. It's but it's not Dr. Pepper. It's Dr. Pepper Zero, and Evan Williams. Cheers. What are you sipping on? Let's see.
Maker's Mark on the Rocks.
Okay, that's a good one. Maker's Mark on the Rocks is a good one for sure.
Oh, Aaron said to let him know we have a date. Maybe Lincoln could do his first camping trip.
Yeah, that would be cool.
He's a good age for it.
That would be cool, yeah. So if you don't remember, me and Aaron took Lincoln hiking to the river, and we actually made a little video for it. And that was fun. He was really little there, and the little turkey saw us putting coffee in my cup, and I guess he just, he's a kid. He grabbed a handful of dirt and put it in my cup, but which is funny. But hey, and the other thing that I'll never forget about that, he kept calling it bean soup, and I couldn't figure, why in the world is he calling it bean soup? But then after the fact, I got to thinking about it, and he's not wrong. he wasn't wrong. Coffee is essentially bean soup. It's just, I mean, it was pretty funny though. Campfires and Live said peach moonshine. Goodness. It's it's Thursday night, Mike. It's not Friday night. You on the moonshine? Gothy State Forest would be a good place too. But I just want to make sure that wherever I go has designated campsites that we can go ahead and reserve, if you know what I mean. Because I don't want to get out there and then not have enough room for everybody, or for whatever reason, you know, get booted out of somewhere. So I don't want to do that.
Jim Beam honey and sweet tea. I want to try that.
Jim Beam honey and sweet tea. I've never tried that before, but I love sweet tea, although I can't drink it that much because it gives me kidney infection. Lake Panasoffkee. Lake Panasoffkee is a long way down for me. But definitely, it wouldn't be off the table, but it is a long way down. But, so, I wanted to talk about something. I don't know if you guys saw the Instagram reel on it or not, but I made those dehydrated scrambled eggs, and I wanted to point out tonight that dehydrated scrambled eggs is a terrible idea. I thought it was going to work out great. Dehydrated scrambled eggs is one of the worst things that I've ever tried to eat in my life, and I literally ate a half a spoonful and threw the rest of them away. So just because I try something, just because I'm doing something, doesn't mean you should automatically just go ahead and do it. Wait until I give you a response on that to see if it's going to be worth it, because that's one of the worst things I've ever eaten in my entire life.
Lincoln said that y'all can go camping tonight.
Oh, Lincoln wants to go camping tonight. I wish we could, buddy. I really do. Bodie or Sackett says, I am a tough possum freak. Now, he did tell me that when we were down there walking around, that he loved tough possum stuff for a long time. So he said been using the J-Berry stuff for years. Picked up a couple new things, a blue pocket pouch, and for a buddy. So he'll be lucky if he gets it. I hear you. Let me be brave, said Northwest Ohio. Hey, glad you jumped in here. I appreciate you watching the live stream. What?
Carl Smith said that your eggs did not look appetizing.
That's putting it lightly, buddy. That's putting it lightly. They were one of the worst things I've ever tried in my entire life. You know, you never know. You never know unless you try it. And I tried it. And now I never have to try it again. It was horrible. It was a terrible idea. It would have been a lot better to just bring the eggs and everything with me and just scramble them there.
I wonder what, like, the other companies actually do.
Freeze dry. Freeze drying is the way to go with the eggs. And I thought that I would be able to make it happen, but dehydrating eggs is not the thing to do. So, so Robert said 4 Lake group camp may be open, but not much there. See, that's the thing, is I want to make sure that whatever we do, we have some. You know, I want it to be something that we can do there too. So, Colt Creek State Park has a primitive group campsite. That's a beautiful, beautiful area there too, and I definitely want to go down there and camp at some point. So that might be something that we could do. But there again, we're getting further down in Florida. And if we're going to have anybody coming from Georgia or from anywhere else, I'd kind of like to keep it at the north end of Florida. So we'll just have to see what I can work out. But I appreciate all the suggestions. Eeyore said powdered, dehydrated, freeze-dried, or reconstituted eggs are the worst. Stay away from anything that says breakfast scramble. Now, in all seriousness, though, some of the freeze-dried meals that we've had, like the Mountain House, I didn't mind the Mountain House one, and the I think it was the Peak Refuel one was good. I liked those. I didn't mind those. I wish that I could afford a freeze dryer, but those things are crazy money. Um, so the other thing I wanted to get into tonight was some Q&A. So I had a few people ask me some questions, and I figured I'd go ahead and try to answer them. And then if anybody watches this thing, or if they watch it, they can have their answer here. So, one person asked me, do I still adventure in the summertime? And you guys know that, I'm pretty much year-round do something. Now, in the summertime, I typically do more of the kayaking, kayak camping kind of thing, because in Florida here, you've got to be by the water. Yeah, it's just too hot. You got to be by the water or something to camp. That way, the breeze off of the water helps, and then you can actually get in the water and cool down some. And just before bedtime, that definitely helps some. he, he thought my eggs were canned Dinty Moore beef stew or stew at first. That's kind of what it looked like, right? So, but yeah, I definitely do year round pretty much do some kind of camping or adventures. Even if it's not camping, we'll go do something, kayaking and stuff like that. Got to keep the content rolling, right? So another question I was asked is, what drone am I using? And I've got it right here. So I've been using the DJI Mini SE. And the funny thing about that is this drone is the cheaper of the DJI drones. But I have had really pretty good luck with that drone. That drone works great. It gets good footage, and it is Sean proof. That's the thing that I needed more than anything else. I didn't know how to fly a drone. I didn't know nothing about that. But I was able to fly that one. It's completely simple. Like I said, it's Sean proof. You push a button, it launches itself. It if you get out too far, it knows how much battery it needs to get back home, and it just comes back home. It overrides you and comes back home. So that's what I needed. And I use it in the cinematic mode, so it's very slow turning and all that stuff. So it kind of really helps me get the videos to make them look good, because I just don't know what I'm doing with it. But Will Killingsworth says, "Hey Sean, how's it going? I've been watching your videos for a long time in Panama City. So I hear you as far as Florida weather." Yeah, so I actually have some family out in Panama City, and we used to go to Panama City when I was a kid. We'd go out and fish at Deer Point Lake, and I definitely would like to get out there at some point. And there's a area out there that I want to go to, and I'm drawing a blank now. It's a creek or a river or something out there. Beautiful, like clear river out there, and I can't think of what it's called now. But some point in the future, I want to kind of venture out that way a little bit anyway. There are some beautiful places to camp out near Tallahassee, and out in that area out there. So hopefully in the future we'll kind of branch out and do a little bit more. But right now we're kind of in our little condensed area is kind of how we're having to do it. Campfires and Life said he has the same one and loves it. Is it Ecofina or Ecofina? Ecofina? I don't know how it's pronounced, but that is the one. Now, while I got you on here, is there anywhere along that creek that you can camp? Is there a camp area in that area? Apalachicola is another one. Let's see. Oh, Frontier Survival's in the house. Doing good. He said he likes DJI. The Chipola River, that's another one that I would like to go. So if you guys watch Trip Smith, he has done he's done all those areas out there. That guy gets around. I mean, he gets around a lot, which is awesome. I love to watch his videos. So he said Ecofina, but I don't know if I still don't know if it's Ecofina or Ecofina. But my buddy Zach, my best friend in the whole wide world, Zach, Random Projects, in the house. Echo China. Now, I think you're thinking of something else, Zach. This is we're trying to keep it PG here. Let's see. Will said, as far as I know, there are primitive WMA areas north of Highway 20. So I'll definitely have to look into that, because that is something that I would definitely like to do out there. Choctawhatchee River, all that area out there would be a lot of fun. So that's something in the future, because I do want to expand outside of our area here. So get some driving in and okay, Ecofina, got it. That's what I needed. I needed somebody to explain that to me. So, Zach, I'm just kidding, man. Say what you want to say. I've got Sarah as my moderator. Yeah, exactly. Oh goodness. Okay. So, yeah, it's good to see Heath in the house from Frontier Survival. Let's see. So I had a guy ask me, or he made the comment that because on a video, because I was running around barefoot and in shorts and stuff, and he said something to the effect that he would have poison ivy and red bugs and chiggers if he did that I needed to share with him what repellent that I use, but I really don't use a lot of repellent.
No, you just come back eat up.
I have been known to come back eat up before, but I really don't use a lot of repellent. I can't hardly handle DEET. DEET, as soon as I spray it on, it burns my skin, and it will just make me miserable. So it's not fun for me to do, bug spray and stuff like that. So most of the time, I just kind of grin and bear it. And honestly, it seems like the more I do it, the less problems I have. So I don't know if maybe I'm just getting immune to them or what, but so Will said, let me know. We go out camping a lot, his son and him. So yeah, I'll definitely do it, man. Maybe here in the future I'll hit you up and see if we can figure out something out that area and maybe I'll do a road trip out there and find a place to camp for a couple nights. That would be cool. So I had another person ask me what awning I'm using on the overlanding kit on the Jeep. Well, that was something that I did for this video, and I did a whole little section of the video on that, and I lost that footage. So I will do a specific video, a gear video, on just how I set the Jeep up with the tarp and all that stuff. But basically, I saw guys at the camp out that had, those tarps that come off the back of them that are hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And my tarp was less than $25, and it's got 2 painter poles that Ken Barrett, he's the one that showed me the painter pole trick, and it works awesome. So you guys know I'm a cheapskate. I like to do things the cheap way, and if it works, it's not a bad idea. So it works. The way I have that thing set up is plumb simple, and I'll do a video coming up on that. But it's just a Calnico 10x15 tarp and 2 of those painter poles, the extendable painter poles from Harbor Freight. I think I'm going to get 2 more of those. They're like $12 a piece. But I think I'm going to get 2 more of those because I've got them staking out the back end of it. But I want to be able to stake out the front end of it too. That way it kind of holds it off of the Jeep a little bit. And it basically makes an area that I could kind of, even if it was raining, I could sneak down beside the Jeep and get into the Jeep if I had to. So that's pretty simple. It's a pretty simple setup. So Zach said he loves the overland setups. Pull out the stove and awning. Yeah. So I love the primitive camping stuff. I really do. I love my hammock camping. But I have to say, since I did the couple videos or the couple trips sleeping in that Jeep, I've gotten a little spoiled with it, man. I mean, it is really, really nice. So it's fun. It's fun to do it that way. Ken said, beats the cost of the green elephant poles. So I haven't looked those up, but I've heard that those elephant poles are super expensive. Po Boy Adventure says, sounds like something Po Boy Adventures could do. Cheap is good. You know, now if it's cheap, but it's if it's cheap but it's quality enough to get you by, that's one thing. But then if you buy cheap stuff that just breaks and it's no good, then you're not really saving yourself anything. But the that old saying, you buy once, cry once, that's true if you can afford to buy once. You know what I mean? So sometimes you have to work your way up incrementally to get to a point where you can actually afford the nicer stuff. You got to get in on the ground floor somewhere sometimes. So Will said, went to Blackie Thomas's gathering in Geneva, Southern Alabama. Great place. Highly recommend it. That's another thing that I want to do. So I haven't really looked at how far it is, but I'm thinking it's probably close to the same distance to that as it is to the Georgia Bushcraft thing for me, roughly 6 hours or so. So I may have to try to figure out how to get to that one this year. I really would like to do that. You know, like I said, I didn't want to get too much into the Georgia Bushcraft thing, but I actually got to meet Blackie and got to sit down with Blackie and talk with him. And the guy is the nicest guy you'd ever want to meet. Today, he posted a video, and he actually had a clip of me in his video introducing me and stuff like that. And, I mean, that was really, really cool. So, I've watched Blackie for a long time, and the guy has so much knowledge. It's unbelievable. But you know, sometimes you meet somebody that has that kind of knowledge and there's that arrogance there. And you don't get that from Blackie. Absolutely, you don't get that from him. Anything that he has up here, he is willing to give it to you. I mean, that's just that's what I got from him. And I recently had an experience with someone that I'm not going to name his name, but as the water boy said, it was one of the guys that I looked up to was slightly discourteous to me lately. But I made a TikTok video, and this particular person made a TikTok video. He liked my video, and then made his own video the next day and didn't credit me. Now, I don't know, maybe that's petty of me, but it was kind of a little bit of a slap in the face. And this guy's been on TV, he's got a huge following, and it was just a little bit of a slap in the face. And then I meet Blackie, who is 180 degrees completely opposite of that. One of the nicest guys you ever meet. So very, very, very down-to-earth guy and super knowledgeable. So if you haven't been watching his videos, I don't know what you're doing with your life, but you definitely should be checking him out because he has some of the best videos as far as like skills, teaching you stuff like that. The guy's super knowledgeable. So I do have a clip coming up in the video of me sitting down talking with Blackie. It didn't end up being the whole clip, unfortunately. I wish it would have been, but it wasn't. But at least there is a small clip of it, and then I'll explain to you what he said otherwise. But it was very humbling, because I just said, "Hey, nice to meet you. I've got a YouTube channel," and he said, "Grab a stump, sit down, and let's do an interview." Just like that. And it was freaking awesome. It was really, really cool. So, okay, so let me quit gushing about that. Let's see, what have I missed on here? Tate's Hill State Forest, Cache Creek, lots of places. So Tate's Hill is somewhere I've been wanting to go to anyway, but that's a very interesting story, the Tate's Hill story of how it came up with its name. And if you've never looked that up, you should really look that up. I'm not going to get into it because it's a long story, but it's very interesting of how it came up with its name. Let's see. What did I miss? He said, "Cool, Ken. Might recognize you if I saw you." Oh, okay. So because Ken was at Blackie's gathering too. Actually in the wood. Yeah, Restless Moon is in the woods right now, watching the video from his camp. He said he's actually in the woods right now for a product review on a gold armor tarp. Cool, man. We'd definitely be looking forward to that video then. Will said he's a good guy, very knowledgeable. Yeah, he's very knowledgeable. Yeah, I mean, we could do it here, but honestly, as far as doing it here, there's just not a lot to do around here. I mean, I've got 5 acres here. I've got aggravating neighbors on either side all around me, so it really wouldn't be that much fun here. He said Tate's Hill has lots of camping. And then I actually have a Bigfoot story a buddy of mine told me from Tate's Hill. I'll have to tell you guys one day. Maybe I'll do that around a campfire one of these days. It says South Apalachicola State Forest, or Apalachicola Forest. Ken said Geneva Lake is about an hour north of Chipley, if he's not mistaken. So, Panama City from me, I believe Panama City is about 4 hours from me, if I'm not mistaken. 4.5 hours. So it might actually be closer to Blackie's than that Georgia bushcraft thing. He said, Will said lots of bears. When we camp in Ocala National Forest, there's a lot of bears down there too. So I don't worry so much about the bears. It's the people that I kind of worry about. Campfires and Live said he's got a big box we could roast a pig. That would be cool. I would definitely love to roast a pig. We used to do that when I was growing up. We used to roast a pig, and especially around Christmas time, we do a whole pig sometimes. My dad, I know I've told the story, my dad, for whatever reason, decided that we should do a Christmas luau several times, and we had the whole pig laying on the table with the apple in his mouth and the pineapple over his tail and the whole thing. I don't know, Pop was wild sometimes. He had got these crazy ideas. Let's see. Restless Moon said very expensive and well made, or very inexpensive and well made. The gold armor stuff, I've actually got some of their stuff, and it's really it is good stuff. Okay, yeah, Zach said Panama City is. He went there a few weeks ago. It's about 4 hours, so I thought I was pretty close on that. So I did get to meet Robert, which is one of my subscribers, but I got to see some subscribers who did camp out with us at the Gold Head Branch State Park, Vince and his son Kyle, and had a great time hanging out with those guys. Kyle is, I don't want to say a kid, he's a young man. He's doing great in school. He's on the weightlifting team, and he is just an all-around good kid. and I had a good time just hanging out with him and just joking around with him and stuff. So that was fun to see those guys there, and got to camp beside Ken, and Ken saved me a spot there, and that was cool. Um, we actually have been. I started camping with Ken a while back. He has a group called South Georgia Budget Bushcraft, and so if you're not familiar with them, check them out on Facebook, and especially if you're in that area. Ken's doing a lot. They're trying to build up a group there to be able to go do things, and they've got a camp out coming up in May 5th, I believe, at the Paradise Park, Paradise Fishing Pier, public fishing pier. I can't remember. Can you make sure you put it in here? But that's definitely a if you're in Georgia, that's a good group of guys to check out, and see if if that's something you're interested in. And like that Paradise public fishing area, that's a really nice place to camp up there too. So Restless Moon said he's never actually seen a bear in the wild. Tracks, scat, scrapes, but no bears. So the last trip that I did in Ocala, when I had to bail out because of the lightning. Now that's something that I kind of feel funny about that one, because part of me does feel like I chickened out, but there was a bad storm coming, and then there was another one that was going to be there at like 2 in the morning, and I was just like, I'm not staying for that. That's not going to be fun. So I did bail out. But on the way out, I hadn't done my outro yet. So I didn't put my camera on the windshield like I normally do. And so what I was doing was I was driving and I was holding the camera, and I'd turn it off and stop for a minute, and then I'd hold it again. Well, I was going down the road and it was bouncing me all around. And so I shut the camera off, and right when I shut the camera off, I topped the hill and there was a black bear crossing the road. And of course, I didn't get the footage of it. I mean, it was so frustrating because it was just crossing the road. But that's just kind of how it goes sometimes. But Sarah and I have seen one camping trip we were down there. We saw 5 bears in the same day down there. It was 2 mamas and 3 cubs. One of the mamas had 2 cubs, and the other one had 1 cub. So they're down there. You just, it's kind of luck of the draw when you see them. But so Ken said, yeah, May 5th, Paradise Public Fishing Area outside of Tifton. So if that's, you check them out on Georgia. It's South Georgia Budget Bushcraft on Facebook, and check them out and join them if that's something you're interested in. So Ken's definitely working hard on that channel and trying to keep content going and keeping people involved and stuff. So go check that out. I definitely recommend going to check that out. So hey, Miss Deborah, it's good to see you. I know I've been kind of running my mouth here for a while. I don't know how long have we even been on here. Can you tell?
50 minutes.
50 minutes I've been running my mouth. So you guys are really hanging in there. Buddy here said, smart, you were tarp on the ground instead of hammock, and if lightning strikes the ground near you, yeah. So I know I've kind of said it in the comments before, but I don't play with lightning, and the main reason I don't play with lightning, our family has a real history with lightning, like no joke history with lightning. So my mother's father was killed by lightning. He was in a field working, and the storm blew up, and the only thing in the field to take shelter under was a big oak tree, and the lightning struck the oak tree, and they said it knocked him out of his boots, and it killed him. And that was when my mom was a little girl. So later on in life, my mother was actually struck by lightning twice. at 2 different times. And I saw Mom get struck by, well, I saw the lightning hit the outside of the house. So there was a, it was an old house, and it had the cast iron pipes. And Mom was standing at the kitchen sink, and the lightning hit the pipe on the outside, and it hit Mom and knocked her through the kitchen under the dining room table. She went tumbling under the dining room table. Now, it didn't really do any real damage to her, but it burned a line across her apron that she had on. And I'll never forget that. So, that's always imprinted in my head, and I do not play with lightning, and that's why. So, if it seems like I chickened out on it, that's the reason, because I definitely just don't deal with lightning. I don't play with lightning. So, the Outdoors with Rich. Hey, Rich, how's it going, buddy? So Rich just hit 1,000 subscribers, so congratulations, buddy. Glad to see you hitting it and chugging along. So Rich just started to really pour a lot more into YouTube, and it's working. So he's really gotten the ball rolling, and gotten some videos out and pumping some stuff out. So it's really, really cool to see Rich, really starting to gain some ground. So good to see you, buddy. Restless Moon says lightning only hurts for a second. Yeah, but that's a second more than I want to deal with it, I can promise you. So this is no joke. I didn't have it in the video, but the lightning got so bad, I was on my air mattress I was bunched up on my air mattress, trying to make sure that nothing of me was touching the ground. Bunched up on the air mattress, praying, Lord, please, I was just, and at that point, I was like, no, this is not fun. As soon as I get a break in the weather, I'm out of here. So, it was definitely time for me to go. So, Ken said, Miss Sarah, your hubby speaks very highly of you. Well, see, now I got proof.
Yeah, how much did you pay him?
I'll get that check out to you, Ken. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate the kind words. Hey, man, you keep pushing along, keep plugging along. Just that's the only way we can make any ground, is to just keep putting the content out there. So I didn't want to do a live stream tonight. I'm not good at the live streams, because I always feel like I don't have a good things to talk about. I don't know. But I wanted to do the video, but it just didn't work out. There was just too much other stuff that I'm gonna have to work to make it work. So tonight, I was kind of stressing it earlier in the week, and Sarah was just like, just do a live stream, and then you can work out the video, because I hate the idea of being late, because I do try to do this, weekly. I try to be on time with this, and so because it wasn't going to work out with that video, thank goodness I had her here to kind of talk me off the ledge. And she's just like, just do a live stream, and then you can work the video out. So that's what we're gonna do. Miss Deborah said, you're awesome with live streams.
People like it when you do them.
I feel like I'm the worst with live streams, but I do have these fancy flashing lights back here. I mean, if that does anything. I actually have some of my lights aren't working because of Amazon. Thanks a lot. I ordered the batteries. I ordered 2 packs of batteries for these little lights. So, I got these little lights here. I ordered a 10-pack and a 5-pack. Both from the same people. The 10-pack came today, and the 5-pack will be here tomorrow. It doesn't make any sense. Backyard Beasley said, hi, hit by lightning delivering Cokes to a beer store in 80, still here. man, I can't even imagine. I just can't even imagine. Um, that's so scary to me. Let me be brave said, just so you know, my son and I watch your videos, and you have inspired us to do several day kayak camping trips as a way to reconnect after falling out. Man, that makes me feel really, really good. I'm really glad that this channel has helped you out, and that means a lot to me, because that's one of the reasons that I wanted to do this channel. You know, my goal was to get people to start going back out and being active and camping and kayaking and hiking and all that stuff. And you know, I'm a big guy. I'm not a little guy, and I kind of wanted to get people also, bigger people, bigger guys, to see that just because you're a bigger guy doesn't mean you necessarily can't do this stuff. We have to do it differently sometimes, but we can still do it. It's all a mindset, you know what I mean? Let's see. Restless Moon said he'd rather watch my live streams instead of some others. Well, I really appreciate that. Zach said, you're awesome with live streams, keeping the conversation flowing, and your videos have editing that is second to none. Aw, you're so sweet. Anyway, I'm going to bed. Alright, buddy. Well, thanks for hanging in there. I really do appreciate you. That's my best friend, Zach. He's my best friend in the whole world. We've been best friends since I was 16 years old. One day I'll have to tell some stories about Zach, but maybe I'll wait until after he goes to bed.
You need to wait till your moderator's not here.
Yeah, wait till my moderator's not here to tell some stories about Zach, I guess. All right, guys. So I have been running my mouth for over an hour now.
58 minutes.
58 minutes. I got 2 more minutes. Push it to an hour and then we'll call it, I guess. But I did really enjoy going to the Georgia Bushcraft thing. They have the fall camp out that Sarah and I are going to start planning on trying to go to, and that's another thing that, you know, we've been wanting to do it. And I went to the spring one, and I told her, and now she wants to go with me to the fall one. So I think it'll be really cool. Now I'm going to plug the Patreon here. If you want to try to support the channel or help support the channel, we do have the Patreon. Patreon gets early access to videos and things like that. So if that's something you're interested in doing, there's a link in all the videos that have the Patreon in there. Like, I think it's got $1, $3, and $5 a month things that you can do to support the channel, and it does. It goes a long way. It really helps out. But if you're interested in just a one-time donation to the channel, we do have the PayPal. You can do, you know, whatever you want to do. I don't know if Patreon, you can do a one-time donation on Patreon or not. I'm not sure. Maybe she did. I don't remember. But if that's something you're interested in, we definitely appreciate it. And but if not, we appreciate every one of you guys for hitting the like button, sharing the videos, and for subscribing to the channel. All that stuff helps push the channel along. So I appreciate you guys watching this video tonight. Randy's in the house. We're just about ready to wrap up, buddy, so you'll have to watch the replay of it, but I'm glad you jumped in here. I appreciate you. Ken said she'll like it. I think she'll definitely like it, especially if we do if I do the car camping the way I did it this time, and then maybe I'll just set up a hammock or set up a tarp or something, and let her have the Jeep. I think she'll really enjoy it, so be on the lookout for the subscriber camp out coming up. I'll have some in the next few weeks. I think I'm going to try to nail down kind of where we're going to do it. Ken said I need to start an Amazon affiliate. I do have an Amazon affiliate Sometimes I'll post a link of something, and they are Amazon affiliate links, but it really isn't much. If you know, if I sell 50 of something, a lot of times it's $2 or $3, so it's really not that much. But anyway, I think that Sarah would really enjoy herself up there because there's so much to do up there. So, but I appreciate you guys watching. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, and if you haven't I can't think. So if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share this with your friends. Appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you next week. Fingers crossed next week we'll have the Georgia bushcraft video out. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next week.